Yeah, there we are. We live, boys. We live, boys.
Livers moment.
A what moment?
Livers.
Is that like an off-brand Enzite?
No, it's what Niji Sanji fans call VTuber streamers. Livers. Because they go live, and it denotes a person who does an action, so live-er.
Amazing.
It's really dumb, it comes from Japanese. Scrappy, you want to do the intro now?
That was such an awkward intro. I think Scrappy, like, died.
I think Scrappy's reeling.
Yeah.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
I'll reboot my.
Oh, dang.
This is a great start.
Yeah.
Do I sound clear now?
You sound fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with Scrappy and Friends. My name is ScrappyFan92, and with me today are Raideran and Harry. Yes, we're getting late, which is basically our usual time now. And since we... Yes, I can tell funny jokes every once in a while, folks. And since we have just a minimalist cast, we're just revisiting a story we first started reading last month. And that being the Miraculous World of Caline Bustier, which is a Miraculous Ladybug fic that was written in 2020 by Renokin. Bear with me for a moment, I'm just getting up my pre-written summary. Last time we read the story, we were welcomed to an AU where pacifistic teacher Caline Bustier correctly suspects her two students, Mariah. Her two students, Marinette and Adrian, are respectively Ladybug and Cat Noir, the champions of Paris.
Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
She and Marinette have a heart-to-heart over being true to oneself and feel as serial liars. In today's chapter, Claude Bourgeois, formerly the superhero queen bee and perpetually an asshole par excellence, is having a crisis of confidence in the wake of her forced retirement. And if that wasn't bad enough, this is the first chapter of an honest-to-goodness Akuma attack. Alliances will be tested.
Oh boy.
Yes, first chapter of the story was basically just a lower deck slice of life. Not lower decks, but a low-key slice of life story.
Yeah.
This chapter, yeah, it's a bit closer to an episode of Miraculous Ladybug will operate.
Okay.
Well, this is part of the general Caline Bustier series. She's not really the main focus of this chapter, which means I will be handling the real focus character, Chloe. Good grief. Folks, if you'd like to join Storytime with Scrappy and Friends, please feel free to join.
Yeah.
If you join, you will have joined.
You won't. You might not receive anything, but you'll have joined.
Joining will mean you have joined.
You'll get imaginary cookies. Or something.
I was very much trying to... I've already read the entire series over my spare time. It's quite good. And I was like, yeah, this is fun. I'd have fun voicing Chloe, but I don't think I have the lung capacity for it anymore. And since I'm actually networking with people, I was like, let me leverage some of the actual actors who are in the circle now. But, we had no one to read the Team Fortress, so we're just doing this.
Yeah.
If you If you know Scrappy Fan 92, then yeah, be prepared for some DMs. I will drag you into this one way or another.
He's gonna be sliding into all your DMs.
Hey, you wanna read some Miraculous?
Who are you?
You want to read some Miraculous?
Who are you, and how did you get this number?
So let's get to it. I guess is a longer chapter than the original, so we'll have to go through it. Thank you for not narrating.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I didn't even notice how long this chapter was. Okay, I'm.
Speedrun, go!
I was unprepared. Okay, so you ready, Scrappy?
As ready as we'll ever be. Just warning for some violence and mildish language.
Okay.
Awesome.
Is it canon typical violence?
No, actually.
Oh.
Oh. Huh, okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Okay. The miraculous one-time adventure of Chloe Noir. Part 2 of the miraculous world of Caline Bustier. Fuck it. Chloe had issues. This was a known fact. After all, Sabrina had pretty much laid them all out in public when Chloe had forgotten to get Miss Bustier a present on her birthday. But still, that didn't change things. She was impulsive, more than a tad manipulative. Oh, and bossy. Very, very bossy. On the outside, she was, if anyone was trying to peg her, a diet version of her mother. Still, Chloe had a long way to go before she reached that level of monstrous. See, Chloe still had a few annoying traits that she couldn't shake. Things that she wanted desperately to hide from others, because let's face it, being the queen bitch took work, damn it. She had one speed in public, and she was damned if she was gonna throw that all away. And she was damned if she was gonna throw that all away because of something like feelings. But occasionally, something would get through all her hard work and remind her, and sometimes others, that she wasn't her mother. Yes, Chloe could be a monster, but that was because she worked at it. And even though she would never ever admit it, sometimes it perturbed her that no one knew why. Which might be why, when Chloe heard the voice of her classmate behind her in the locker area, she didn't stop crying. Maybe it was maybe it was because of the abrasive text message she had just received from her mother concerning her birthday. Maybe it was because it had been a long day and she missed the attention she had gotten from Sabrina and Lila. Lila? Lila?
Sabrina before Lila.
Did I say Sabrina and Lila?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Missed the attention she had gotten from Sabrina before Lila had shown up. Maybe it was because she was just so goddamn tired at that point that she couldn't bother to try. Or maybe it was because the voice belonged to the one person in school Chloe knew was going through something worse than she was.
Give me a moment. This is gonna suck, folks. What do you want, Dupen Cheng? Can't you see I'm having a private moment?
I said she stopped crying. I didn't say she was nice about it. Sudden shift to first person. Marinette had stayed late to help Miss Bustier organize some files and had been on her way out when she had heard the sound of something slamming into a locker, followed by some soft sobbing. Fearing the worst being an Akuma further adding to her day, Marinette had rounded the corner only to find Chloe with one hand clutching a phone and the other embedded in the side of an innocent locker door. Hey, Chloe, are you alright? Did something happen? Chloe glanced at her classmate and longtime rival. Granted, she was only a rival because Chloe had made her a rival, but still, semantics. Marinette was, in Chloe's mind, the exact opposite of herself. Where Chloe was mean spirited, dominant, cruel, and overall controlling, Marinette had been more, well, human.
I'm fine.
Whoops. Chloe said. Chloe said as she stood straight and wiped her tears away. As she looked at the black streaks on her hand, Marinette reached out and handed Chloe a handkerchief for her mascara. Chloe, Marinette said in a voice that sounded almost tired. Come on, it's me. Chloe glanced at Marinette and debated lashing out with a snide retort. But then she realized there wasn't a hint of malice or ill will on her classmate's face. And it was late, and she was exhausted.
It's nothing. It's ridiculous, really. It's my mother.
Chloe glanced down at her phone and simmered a bit.
I was texting her to remind her that this week is my birthday. You know what the first thing she texted back was?
Marinette bit her lip and shook her head. No. Chloe gave a shallow laugh and held her phone up.
She just said, so. That's all. As if she was supposed to know what to do.
Marinette stepped forward and reached out to come, but couldn't quite bring herself to take her classmate by the arm. This was the girl who had spent most of her life trying to ruin Marinette on some level or another, after all. Still, Marinette knew that Chloe was a hero. Sometimes. And that she had unintentionally been privy to more of Chloe's personal troubles than most. Chloe shook her head and shoved her phone in her purse.
It's fine, though.
Chloe was already wiping under her eyes and sniffling her feelings back into the Chloe box.
I mean, it's not the first time, you know? Hell, you do know, don't you? You and everyone else in this stupid school.
Chloe was about to go on, but instead she gave a yelp as Marinette grabbed her arm and started dragging her out of the school.
You Pensheng, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Chloe started to yell. Marinette didn't stop or turn around, but Chloe could see even from the side of the the determined look that had come across her classmate's face. You're coming with me, he growled.
What? Where are we? Unhand me this instant. I swear, if this is some kind of trick or prank, I'll get my daddy to shut down your parents' rat-infested bakery so fast, it'll...
Marinette skidded to a halt and spun around faster than Chloe had ever seen her move. Chloe let out a high-pitched meep as Marinette balled her fists around Chloe's designer yellow jacket and yanked her forward until the two were inches apart. Stop it, Marinette hissed. Just stop. Today, for once, you are going to act like a decent human being to me. We are going to walk out of this school, raid my parents' bakery for the box of leftovers my father has hidden behind the counter, march to the park, and you are going to get a birthday treat. I am going to listen to you, and we are going to commiserate. Chloe was stunned. Marinette was nearly snorting with rage. She had never seen her classmates so riled up before, not even when she had gone out of her way to get a reaction.
Marinette, are you okay?
And just like that, Marinette snapped out of it. She let go of Chloe and jumped back as though she had been bitten. Oh my god, sorry. Marinette said in a much more Marinette-sounding voice. It's been a long day. Well, a long week. I mean, I just saw you and thought, hey, this might be a chance to talk to the one person who. Chloe held up her hand to stop Marinette.
I get it. I'm the only person who hasn't been a complete jerk to you this week, and this doesn't really compete for you. So you're trying to do something nice for me. And I threatened you. And I threatened you.
Chloe sighed and rubbed her face.
I'm sorry.
Say what? Marinette's eyes went wider than normal as she tried to process that Chloe had just willingly apologized to her. She quickly got over it, shook her head, and took Chloe by the hand. No, don't apologize. I stuck my nose in and started dragging you around and then threatened you. I never threatened you. I'm just channeling work stuff. I should be apologizing. Chloe snorted.
You totally... You totally threatened me time. Please.
Only because you threatened me first, Marinette snapped back.
True.
Chloe said with a shrug.
So, not that I want your company or anything, but... Were you serious about those pastries?
Come with me. A short walk later, and Chloe found herself sitting on a picnic blanket with the absolute last person on Earth she ever thought she would end up spending time with. Marinette was sprawled out, hands behind her head, and enjoying the afternoon sun, while Chloe downed her third chocolate scone.
Okay, so don't let this go to your head, but these are pretty...
Chloe mumbled as she ate. Heck yes they are, Marinette said with a grin. I grew up sneaking Dad's scones, macaroons, pies, everything. I know I see them through kid vision, but my parents really are the best bakers in Paris. Chloe had to agree. Granted, she would never admit to it beyond this conversation, but credit where credit was due. The scones were killer.
Gosh, if I had access to all this growing up, I'd be a blimp. How do you stay a rail?
Marinette shrugged. I work out? Chloe eyed her for a moment and then took another bite of pastry. So, Marinette said, after Chloe, one of these days, I'm going to merge their two names into Clarinet.
I think that's their ship name.
God. It better be. So, Marinette said after Chloe had finished her scone and chased it with a bottled water. Is it just your mom that's bugging you? Anything else? Chloe shot Marinette the best side eye she could.
Okay, first off, what the hell, Chang? You, like, never cared. I mean, yeah, I care about everyone, but you've never really cared about me. Secondly, isn't something enough?
Marinette hummed. Well, for starters, you're right. I care about all my friends.
We're not friends.
Marinette shrugged. And we're here. There are pastries. Close enough. Chloe thought on this point.
There.
Second, Marinette said as she propped herself up on her elbows. Sorry, and I know this sounds cruel, but the mom thing isn't new. I figured something else was feeding this. Is, everything cool?
Sure.
Chloe huffed. She crossed her legs and leaned into her hands, cupping her face as she did so.
Everything's great, except that I, got fired from being a superhero.
Chloe waited for Marinette to chime in. When she didn't, Chloe found the silence to be a bit much, so she filled it.
Also, I neglected this while before we started reading, but yes, as mentioned in the first episode we read the story, this takes place after season 3. Spoilers for everything that happened in season 3.
Oh no.
I mean, I completely snapped during the last battle, got akumatized again, outed a bunch of heroes, stole every miraculous Ladybug had, destroyed her faith in me forever, and made her a mortal enemy. Oh, and the worst part of it is how I never get to Kwame again. So, yeah.
Chloe blew an errant hair out of her line of vision.
Everything is totally cool. Cool.
Wow, Marinette said. So were you, like, possessed when all this happened, or...
Nope.
Chloe said as she reached down to pluck a long blade of grass and started rolling it between her thumb and index finger.
I just snapped and tried to burn down everything I had in one stroke. That's what I do. I'm Chloe Bourgeois. I break things.
Chloe knew Marinette was staring at her, but thankfully the dark-haired girl had the sense to not chime in at the moment. The moment passed. "What's a Kwame?" Marinette asked.
That's what you got from all that?
Chloe asked with a laugh.
You are hopeless, Dupencheng. So, you've been given a miraculous?
Marinette shook her head no. Ladybug has never given me anything. Splitting hairs, but true.
Well, apparently you... 3, 2, 1. Well, apparently your kid in Paris she hasn't called on. A Kwame is like a familiar that gives you your power.
Oh, Marinette said, nodding. I guess that makes sense.
Her name was Pollen.
Chloe said, a bit softer this time.
She was my friend.
Marinette was silent for a moment before asking, have you tried talking to Ladybug about this? Chloe laughed and leaned back on her elbows.
You think she'll ever talk to me again? Please. That ship sailed. And sank. She'll never let me back. Not after everything.
Chloe glanced over at Marinette and scowled.
Wipe that pathetic look off your face, will you? Can't stand it when people look at me that way.
What way? Chloe huffed.
Like I need them.
Chloe stood and stretched.
Well, this has been fun, but I think I'm hitting my bonding limit. You met Dupencheng. Honestly, the reason I was cool with this was because of what you've been... Hear that, Dupencheng. The only reason I was cool with this was because of what you've had with lately.
Oh? Marinette asked as she glanced down. What do you mean by that? Chloe looked at Marinette and crossed her arms.
Oh, please. You know exactly what I'm referring to. I was losing everything you cared about. Gosh damn it, Dupencheng. I was losing everything you cared about been going for you.
Marinette glared up at Chloe and bit out. I don't know. You tell me. Chloe glanced at Marinette and smirked.
There it is. I'll let you in on something, Dupencheng. When I've cut you, I've always been upfront about it. Never denied it. I never denied that it was me. When I was there to mess with your life, everyone knew it. And you always gave as good as you got. Hell, that's the biggest thing I admire in you.
Marinette's jaw looked like it had become. Marinette's jaw looked like it had become detached. If she wasn't mistaken, Chloe had just paid her a huge compliment.
But this other girl, I've known people like her. You
She pointed at Marinette.
can't win against someone like that. Not the way you are. She knows it too. She had you pegged the second she got to class.
Why though? Marinette asked, her voice breaking slightly. I mean, I tried with her. I really did. She just...
Evil.
Marinette shot an eyebrow up at that. But Chloe nodded.
I it. She's evil, Marinette. She's gonna keep taking things away from you just because she can. Ignore won't stop it. My voice is changing by the minute. Ignoring her won't stop it. You'll just end up feeding her. Trust me.
But why me?
Because you're incredible.
Chloe huffed.
Gosh, do I need to spell it out for you? Everyone loves you. You've got unlimited talent for everything you do. You're the school video game champion. You're on a first-name basis with the biggest rock legend on the planet. Gabriel Agreste loves your design. My mother likes you more than me, and screw you for that, by the way. You're living your best life, and it's infuriating.
Marinette blushed. Thank you? But why does any of that matter?
Because
Chloe said.
some people have to claw and crawl. Some people can't get them unless they buy them. Some people can't unless they steal them. But some people, some very lucky people, they get them just because. And that's you. And those others that crawl and steal, they'll hate you for it. Just because you're you.
Marinette looked stunned. Maybe it was because Chloe almost sounded concerned. Or maybe it was because Chloe had slipped and used her first name. Whatever the reason, Marinette kept going. So, what should I do? Before Chloe could answer, an explosion ripped through the park. Chloe was knocked to the ground as Marinette covered her head. Around the park, business windows shattered from the concussive force of the blast. Both girls looked up to see what looked like a clown on a unicycle. He was covered in polka dots and had huge tufts of orange hair. In his hand was a giant squeeze horn.
Run, you pathetic rubes! I am Sacre Boom! And while you didn't laugh at my jokes before, my new act will blow you away.
To emphasize this, Sacre Boom... I'm gonna say Bloom. Who knows how many times. Sacre Boom gave his horn a squeeze. A small fireball shot out and slammed into the side of a nearby tree, causing it to explode in a shower of splinters.
Run!
Chloe screamed as she scrambled to her feet and grabbed Marinette by the arm. A moment later, the blanket they had been sitting on went up in a ball of fire as another explosion rocked to the ground behind them. Chloe half-dragged Marinette across the park away from the akumatized clown and didn't let go until they had scurried behind some now scorched parked cars on the far side of the street. Chloe glanced over the top of the car. It looked like Sacre Boom was targeting anyone and everyone he could with his bomb horn. Chloe winced as another blast sent a hapless blonde teen boy flying into a nearby car. The teen bounced off the hood and crumpled in the street as the mad clown laughed. Chloe felt Marinette tense behind her. Spinning around, Chloe barked out.
Oh gosh. Get out of here. Go and get help. Find Ladybug.
I think she'll figure out what's going on pretty quick without my help, Marinette muttered, but Chloe wasn't paying attention. She had already turned back around and started to move. Wait, Marinette said as she grabbed Chloe's arm. Where are you going? You should stay here. It's dangerous out there. You could get hurt. Chloe glanced back at Marinette.
Are you actually concerned about me?
Marinette was practically tearing up. Please, Chloe, just get to safety until Ladybug gets here. Please. Chloe took in everything in front of her and felt all of her masks drop at the same time. She smiled.
Thanks for that. I really did that today. It's cool, though.
She shook her arm free.
After all, I'm a gosh damn superhero.
With that, Chloe bolted for the unconscious team. Marinette watched, wide-eyed, as Chloe, the self-important monster in human form, Chloe Bourgeois... Hold on. Yeah, that comma's... There's just a random comma there that threw me off. Marinette watched, wide-eyed, as Chloe, the self-important monster in human form, Chloe Bourgeois, proceeded to risk her life for a stranger. Chloe was, for lack of a better word, terrified. She honestly didn't know what the hell she was thinking, but that kid had taken a bad hit. Chloe knew that Ladybug and Chat Noir would be here soon. But until they could be on the scene, someone had to do something, or people were going to wind up seriously hurt. The boy was half buried under a dented, scorched Audi and face down. There was something extremely familiar about him. Cat, oh my god. Okay, I got jump scared by my cat again. Okay. There was something extremely familiar about him, but Chloe was too distracted by the combination of adrenaline and screaming around her to really focus. As she grabbed the unconscious boy by the hand, a silver ring slipped off. Before Chloe could throw it to the side, a small voice yelled out, "Wait, don't drop that!" Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay, that is my line. Whatever, moving on. Chloe jumped in surprise as a small floating black cat swooped in front of her.
Oh.
Chloe said, her eyes the size of dinner plates. She looked at the cat, then at the ring in her hand, and finally at the boy half concealed by the car.
Oh.
I'm Plague, the Kwame said, his voice bordering on panic, apparently. I believe you know what I am, and what that, he pointed to the ring in Chloe's hand, is supposed to be. Behind Chloe, there was the sound of another explosion. She turned to see Ladybug swinging in from a nearby rooftop and slamming into the Akuma victim feet first. She spared a glance to where she had been hiding a few moments ago, and thankfully, Marinette had listened to her and ran for cover.
Your owner needs help. Is he dead? We should get him to the hospital.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. I don't think nuh-uh is appropriate, but sure. Nah, Plague said. The Ladybugs will fix this and him. He'll be alright. He's just out for the count. Chloe glanced over to the fight, where Ladybug was blocking exploding projectiles with her spinning yo-yos.
Help.
Chloe said. She rolled the ring in her hand as Plague yelled out. Then put the ring on. Say, Plague, claws out and help her already. I know you know how this works. And she wanted to. God, she wanted to. She watched as Ladybug swung her yo-yo at Sakura Boom, who was bouncing out of the way on his unicycle. He was giving as good as Ladybug gave, and from the frantic looking around Ladybug was doing, She knew she was Chloe knew she was expecting her partner.
I don't. I don't. I don't know if I should.
Chloe finally admitted.
I was the one who stole the Miraculous. I told Ladybug enemies. How is she supposed to trust me out there? What if she...
Flag floated up to Chloe and slapped her in the face. Now, while that sounds bad, he has very tiny arms, and honestly, she was more stunned by how cute it was than anything else. Now, look here, Chloe Bourgeois. Flag growled in his most intimidating voice.
Oh my gosh, she is adorable!
Chloe thought to herself. Are you, or are you not the holder of the Queen Bee Miraculous? That got Chloe to sit upright. Well? Chloe nodded and said,
But she took it from me. I lost the right to...
Dang it, while I appreciate that you've managed to grow a soul and are experiencing a moral conflict, this is not the time. Now put on the dang ring and go beat down Bozo over there before my owner dies of blood loss. Chloe put the ring on.
Flag, close out!
There was a rush of green light, a surge of power and adrenaline, and suddenly Chloe felt alive again. She felt miraculous.
Oh my gosh.
She sobbed.
What's this? I miss this so hard. Okay. Focus, Chloe.
She said to herself. She stood and reached to her hip for her staff. It reminded her of her own miraculous, but different. The costume, from what she could tell, was similar to the regular one worn by Chat Noir, but her hair was in an unreasonably long ponytail.
I like I like it.
She murmured.
Lighter on the shoulders than my regular outfit.
As she commanded her staff to propel her towards the fight, she couldn't wipe the smile off her face. Ladybug had just somersaulted backwards away from a swipe from Sacre Boom when she saw a familiar metal rod shoot between the spokes of the Mad Clown's unicycle, sending the akumatized man flying into a bush. She turned to greet her partner. Good timing, Chat Noir. And stopped cold. Chloe commanded the staff to retract back to her hand, twirled it around, and brought it to rest just behind her back.
For Pete's sake, I tried to practice this. Ready for the circus, wouldn't you agree, Ladybug?
Ladybug nearly choked. What the hell? Chloe shot her hero a sheepish grin.
Hi, I'm your substitute cat of the day. Go team?
Ladybug growled and was about to ask a million questions, but Sacre Boom had already gotten upright and was taking aim at the red and black superheroine. Ladybug was still distracted, but Chloe was not. She dove towards Ladybug and screamed.
Look out!
Just as a bomb went flying, Chloe slammed into Ladybug full force and pushed her out of the way of the projectile. However, she wasn't fast enough to save herself. Ladybug watched in horror as... Horror? I feel like I should say that better, otherwise... Ladybug watched in horror as the bomb exploded right in the middle of the new Chat Noir's chest, sending her flying across the park and through a storefront. Cat! She screamed. Cat! Where are you, Cat? He's gone. Dang. She screamed as she took off towards her new partner.
That's right. That's right. Run while you can.
Sakura Boom laughed and shot his bombs into the air.
This is just the intermission before my final act. I'll get the stupid Miraculous. Quit distracting me. I'm performing here.
Ladybug sent a silent thank you to whomever was listening that Hawkmoth couldn't shut up during a battle. Cat Noir, are you here? Answer me! Ladybug swung her yo-yo and cleared out a wide swath of rubble from the storefront as she searched for her teammate. Nearby, she heard a groan from under a crumpled display case. Quickly, she flung it aside and to reveal a scorched and dirty cat. There you are. Are you okay? Chloe shook her head to clear the ringing in her ears and grinned.
Yes. Hell yes. I just took a bomb to the chest. Ow.
Chloe had done a fist pump into the air to celebrate, but then her ribs reminded her that they were still there and probably bruised. Hey, take it easy, Ladybug said as she put her arm around her new partner. You took a direct hit. You shouldn't have done that. We're tough, but not invincible. That was so stupid. I would have been fine.
No, you wouldn't have.
Chloe said as she stretched to try to get rid of the pain. It wasn't helping.
Whack! I have stood there with your mouth hanging open and taken that bomb to the face. And then I would have been stuck doing this alone. Don't argue. I know how you get.
Ladybug raised an eyebrow at that, but Chloe shrugged it off.
Besides, I'm Cat Noir. Meow.
Sorry, I just needed a moment after that. She said with a feline grin.
I could tell, like, Raider was just, like, reeling after that.
It was that funny? Okay.
No, it's not that it's funny, it's just that
Hearing
It's
Scrappy say
fancy.
yeah.
said
like
meow.
hearing meow or nya in
Meow.
any capacity sends me.
Especially if it's someone like Scrappy.
Protecting Ladybug is my job.
Ladybug blushed as she glared at Chloe. Your job is to help me win, so let's get to that, shall we? Chloe nodded.
Agreed. So, why don't you do that Lucky Charm thing? I'm acting cool here, but I seriously think I'm bleeding internally, and I don't feel good.
A quick yell and a flash of light later, a giant foam finger was resting in Ladybug's hands.
Going to a football game after this?
Chloe quipped. Ladybug glanced at the finger and then at Sakura Boom, and finally at Cat. Okay, so this is gonna sound kind of stupid, but I think it'll work.
Okay. Citizens of Paris.
Sakura Boom, meanwhile, had grown tired of waiting. He was pointing his horn upwards as a mass of dark red energy was beginning to form around it.
It is time for my final act. If Dog and Cat Noir do not give me their miraculous, I will send off a blast and will take out the entire city.
The dark red energy started to grow around the edges of the horn. Sakura Boom was done fooling around and wasn't gonna sugarcoat it.
Well, ladies,
Sakura Boom called out to the shattered storefront.
what's it going to be? Are you going to bring me my finale or bow out gracefully?
We're here! Ladybug called out as they stepped out of the rubble. Sakura Boom smiled, but he didn't stop charging his horn. Instead, he pointed it towards the two heroes.
How wise of
He said with a toothy grin.
now. If you would be so kind, please hand over. Yes, yes, I know. Look, who has the giant bomb horn right now, you or me?
Ladybug tensed as Boom started yelling at the purple moth outline that had appeared in front of his eyes. Now, she said as both ladies broke into a full sprint. Boom, momentarily distracted, suddenly realized what was happening. His eyes went wide as Ladybug charged headlong towards the glowing cannon in his hand, only to reach forward and jam the giant foam finger into the horn. Chloe was honestly surprised. Granted, half the time the lucky charm resulted in something that, in any other situation, would have been pretty dumb. But this was almost comical.
Hey, not fair.
Boom tried squeezing his horn, but the finger held.
Right, he's a clown.
Chloe thought to herself with a groan.
This is so dumb.
She muttered. Ladybug yelled at her. Just go with it!
Fine. Cataclysm!
Chloe screamed as she brought a handful of dark energy down on the horn. Instantly, it eroded and cracked, revealing a dark purple butterfly. Chloe relaxed and let her body uncoil as Ladybug purified the Akuma and threw her foam finger into the air. A swarm of ladybugs later, and suddenly her ribs felt 1,000 times better.
Where am I?
A confused clown asked. He was sitting between the two ladies who looked to him, and then to each other. Without even thinking about it, they bumped fists.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Found it.
Yeah.
Scrappy, you can't just keep doing this to me. God, it felt so good to be back. You were akumatized, Ladybug said as she helped the clown to his feet. He dusted himself off and looked around.
Oh dear.
He said with a frown.
I guess I was bound to cancel my afternoon performance. The children at the hospital would have loved it. I was told they didn't have it in their budget for a performance. This was after I promised the kids I would be there. Oh, please, I didn't hurt anyone, did I?
Chloe glanced over to where the teenage boy had been, but he was already gone.
No, sir, you are fine.
Chloe said.
In fact, I have a way to help you do your For Pete's sake. I have a way to help you do your performance. Frick, if you're still up for it.
The clown nearly started crying.
You mean it?
You want to give that one more go?
You mean it?
Okay, good. Chloe nodded.
Sure do. Give me 1 hour and roll your unicycle butt over to the hospital. They'll be waiting for you, I promise. Oh, thank you, thank you.
The clown shook both their hands before gathering his unicycle and horn. He took off in the direction of the hospital as Chloe watched, a small smile on her face. Ladybug glanced to her new partner with a smile. Hat puns.
Deal with it. It's part of the power set.
Chloe said with a shrug. No, it's not, Ladybug said with a sigh.
You can't prove it.
The moment was cut short by a beep from her finger. Ladybug put her hand on Chloe's shoulder and said, We'd better get somewhere safe. Is Cat okay? Did something happen to him? Chloe flashed her best Cheshire grin at Ladybug.
Not to worry. I'm just a convenient stand-in, yeah. Your regular feline friend will be back before you know it.
Ladybug bit her lip.
Why does that look so familiar?
Chloe thought to herself. When you took his ring, did you... Do you know who he is? Ladybug asked.
Oh,
Chloe thought to herself.
they don't know each other outside of... Wait, so they don't know each other outside of work? That's a lot to unpack. Don't worry about it.
Chloe said.
I have no idea who he is and vice versa. A cool bug.
Ladybug looked like she wanted to ask more questions, but the beep from her earrings cut them both off. Chloe glanced at them and thought,
Damn. I know I've hair like that before. This is going to keep me up all night.
with a nod, Ladybug threw her yo-yo, and in the blink of an eye, she was gone. She was gone across the rooftops. Chloe watched her leave and then took off for the nearest alleyway. When she was sure she was alone, she took a breath and in a moment to appreciate. She took a breath and a moment to appreciate a job well done.
Okay,
She said to herself.
so I said claws out to activate. But it didn't hit me. Claws in?
There was a flash of light, and just like that, Chloe was back to normal again. Flag floated in front of her and came to rest in her outstretched hand. She slipped a chocolate scone that she had palmed earlier out of her jacket pocket and handed it to the hungry Kwame, who devoured it in 3 seconds flat. It ain't cheese, but I'll take it, Flag said. He glanced at Chloe and saw the look on her face. Hey, you did good out there, kid. You did really good. Chloe let out a laugh.
Frick. Please, Kwame. I did well.
You did both. I'm not doing the second take. Flag floated in front of Chloe and seemed to consider the blonde for a moment. For what it's worth, you were a good cat noir. And don't let it go to your head, but I always thought you were a good queen bee. Chloe felt every sarcastic comment she had die on her tongue.
Is Colin okay?
A beat.
Does she forgive me?
Flag smiled and nodded. She thinks you're the best, Chloe Bourgeois. She always has. Chloe felt herself start to tear up, but sniffed it back. She could cry later when she was alone. She wasn't about to start blubbering in front of a Kwame, let alone one that wasn't hers. She slid off the ring and handed it to Flag.
You know how to get back to your owner, right?
She asked. Flag nodded. Yeah, I'm good. See you around, kid. And with that, Chloe found herself alone. School the next day started like usual, but when Miss Bustier went to take attendance, she nearly counted Chloe missing. It wasn't until she glanced at the back of the class and saw her sitting next to an extremely confused-looking Marinette that she was counted as present.
Huh.
Caline thought to herself.
So that's a thing now, I guess.
You okay? Marinette asked under her breath. You never willingly sit by me. Chloe glanced around the room, glaring at the back of Alia?
Alia.
Okay, Alia's head, before tossing a sad look over towards Sabrina.
Someone has. That sounds so snooty. Someone has to.
Chloe muttered.
Good morning, class.
Miss Bustier called out.
Let's begin by complimenting each other. Who would like to go first?
To the shock of both Miss Bustier and the class, Chloe raised her hand.
Marinette. Marinette would love to.
Chloe called out. Alia turned a full 180 degrees in her seat and mouthed, "What the hell?" as both Chloe and Marinette stood up and made their way to the front. Chloe marched like she was leading a parade, while Marinette nervously sauntered behind her. They stood facing each other for a moment as Chloe smirked. Marinette tensed up, ready for something cruel to come out of Chloe's mouth. But to her surprise, the blonde shot a glare towards Lila. And then she grinned.
Marinette, you are an amazing person, and I want to thank you so much for staying at a private lunch with me with Jagged Stone. He had a lot to talk about, actually. Did you know he's never had a cat?
Marinette blinked several times in confusion, while the class around them began to murmur. Out of the corner of her eye, Marinette noticed that Lila was glaring hard at Chloe. Marinette bit her lip as she thought about what to say. She was so focused that she didn't see Chloe's eyes on her mouth, as if she was remembering something. Suddenly, those eyes went so wide they were about to fall out of their sockets. Had this been a cartoon, Marinette might have noticed a light bulb flickering to life above the blonde's head. Thank you, Chloe. I think you're one of the bravest people I've ever met. Thank you for saving my life yesterday during the Akuma attack. You were a real hero. Chloe snapped out of whatever thought was screaming throughout her mind long enough to focus on Marinette's words for a moment. And in that moment, Marinette saw a genuine smile flash across Chloe's face. Then the moment passed, and Miss Bustier sent both students back to their seats. It did not escape Chloe's attention that Lila was glaring at her for once, and not Marinette.
Bring it, witch.
She thought to herself with a smile. Later that evening, after the Lady Blog had filed an exclusive cell phone video of the all-new, all-different Cat Noir, which Chloe had watched no less than a dozen times, Chloe was crashed out on her balcony. She was lounging in a recliner, sipping a chocolate shake and enjoying the city lights, when she heard the sound of something coming to rest behind her. Curious, she sat up and turned to look. Cat Noir and Ladybug were standing right behind her. Chloe yelped and fell out of her recliner. She would have spilled her shake, but Cat Noir caught it on the end of his staff, keeping it impossibly balanced as he gingerly tossed it onto a side table. Not a drop was spilled.
Go off.
Chloe thought to herself.
What are you two doing here?
Chloe asked with a bit more venom than she had intended.
Are you here to lecture me about playing with other people's toys?
Ladybug smirked and shook her head. The opposite, actually. We wanted to thank you and to make sure you were okay. Chloe squeaked out. She turned so She turned so they couldn't see the red that was creeping across her cheeks.
Well, you're welcome.
She heard the sound of Cat Noir clearing his throat. Hesitantly, she glanced over her shoulder and asked,
So, are you okay? You looked pretty bad earlier.
Cat blanched?
Launched or blanched, I do not know.
Well, Cat blanched as Chloe turned and quickly put her hands out in front of her.
Not that I looked. I didn't. I mean, I saw half of you, not the, head half. You're good. You're good. I have no idea who you are, but you looked really bad when I found you. Lots of blood. Did Ladybugs just put that back, or?
Ladybug shrugged. Honestly, I have no idea. Cat grinned. Chloe noticed he was rubbing the back of his head from what? Nerves? Embarrassment? Again, why was this so dang familiar? Yeah, I had taken a pretty bad hit. Plag told me what happened after the ladybugs fixed me up. Um, thanks, Chloe. Chloe remembered her conversations with the Kwame and blushed some more.
In hindsight, I probably should have taken Adrian as well. You got a lot. I'll handle him for the rest of the chapter, but it's like probably one more line.
I literally forgot. I had to double check.
Damn it, don't make a big deal out of it. At least you got your stupid ring back.
It is a big deal, Ladybug said as she stepped forward. Also, I heard the mayor threatened to pull the children's hospital's funding if they didn't honor the contract they had made with their entertainers. Chloe made a dismissive motion with her hands and harumphed.
Seriously, what kind of slipshod institution? Man, I went all in on that one. Seriously, what kind of slipshod institution doesn't pay for its workers? It's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. So, yes, I might have leaned on Daddy a bit. What about it?
Ladybug sighed, but it didn't sound like a frustrated sigh to Chloe. Instead, it sounded resigned, almost familiar. Ladybug cleared her throat and said, Look, you and I haven't always been on the same page. That's partially my fault. Chloe crossed her arms and shot Ladybug a look, unsure of what was happening.
Go on.
She muttered. Ladybug stared Chloe down for a minute, and then blurted out. Why did you try to take the Miraculous from me? Chloe's eyes went wide as her whole body went rigid.
I...
Dang, we're doing this now? Cat Noir asked. Ladybug elbowed him in the ribs, but did not break eye contact with Chloe. Chloe turned away from them again and hugged herself. It was suddenly very cold out on her balcony. At least, it felt that way to her.
I wanted to be special.
She waited for Ladybug or Cat Noir to chime in, but both waited patiently for her to continue.
My whole life, I've been told how great I am.
Chloe said in a voice that was just a click above a whisper.
Daddy tells me I'm a princess. I'm given whatever I want. Everyone does what I say when I say it because they're paid. I'm in charge and I deserve it, but...
Chloe shuddered and took a deep breath. The bomb to the chest had been easier to take than this.
But it's not true. If I was so special, then my daddy would be able to talk to me without sounding scared. He can't wait to get away from me. If I was special, my mom would love me. If I was Sabrina would still be my friend and not... I can buy all the attention I want. And that's fine most days. But that doesn't make me special. It just makes me spoiled. But with the Miraculous, Colin, gosh, you understand, don't you? You have to. You have them. You know what it's like. That feeling of being good enough, of being accepted and loved, having someone right who's always there for you, who never leaves. She was the first person who told me she didn't want to leave.
Chloe covered her face with her hands and the tears started to well up. She figured they saw where she was going anyway. She turned away from them and continued.
I want to be loved and trusted.
She sniffled as she kept her eyes covered.
I've given so much for you, and no matter what, it's never, ever enough. In that moment, all I saw when I looked at you was someone like my parents. I saw someone who didn't really care. You gave me something to make me useful, and then were ready to take it away and forget about me. And I snapped. And I'm sorry.
She heard something behind her. Mutterings, whispers. There was the sound of something hitting the ground and whizzing away. When Chloe looked up, only Ladybug was there.
Where did he go?
Chloe asked, confused.
Is that too much for him?
No, Ladybug said. It's just, I told him this was more of a girl talk situation. He took the hint. Chloe snickered.
But you hate me.
It did not escape her attention that Ladybug paused before answering. You and I are different, Ladybug said at last. But I think that if things in your life hadn't been what they were, we might not have been so different after all. We might have even been friends. Forget what happened before. Forget how you act in public. Today, when the attack happened in the park, the first thing you did was get Marinette to safety. When you saw someone hurt, you ran out into the line of fire to make sure they were okay. You respected the privacy of a Miraculous holder, and you risked your life to protect me.
Of course I did.
Chloe said with a tired laugh.
Like I said to
She glanced at Ladybug.
Marinette, I'm a gosh damn superhero.
Ladybug walked forward and put a hand on Chloe's shoulder. You really are a hero, Chloe. Under everything else, you've always been a hero. Chloe sniffled and shut her eyes tight, trying to fight back more tears. After some effort, she finally forced her best angry face out and said,
Then why did you take Paul every time? Single
Scrappy, you're breaking up really bad out there.
Gosh damn it, Dupencheng! Alright, Ladybug, I'm only gonna say this one more time. Why did you take Pollen away? Every time. Every single time you would come back and rip her from me. If I'm such a hero, then why wasn't I good enough?
Because at the time, it wasn't my decision to make. Ladybug took a step back. She took a breath, and Chloe watched as Ladybug's face told volumes about what was going on behind the mask. Finally, the hero nodded to herself and locked eyes with Chloe. But it is now. Chloe's eyes went huge as Ladybug reached into her yo-yo and pulled out a small red and black spotted box. Chloe Bourgeois, here is the Miraculous of the Bee, which grants the power of subjugation. Can I trust you, now and from this day forward, to wield it in the name of justice and fight by my side? Chloe couldn't answer. The tears were pouring down her face at this point. She could barely see to take the box from Ladybug's hand and open it, revealing a familiar comb.
My queen!
A small voice said. Chloe scooped the little Kwame out of the air and pressed her close to her cheek. She felt the tiny creature nuzzle her back.
Thank you.
Chloe choked out, over and over.
Thank you. It is good to see you too.
Said Pollen.
You're sure about this?
Chloe asked, looking up at Ladybug.
I mean, I get it. You don't like me.
Ladybug shrugged. So, like, half the time I want to string up Cat Noir, half the... Ugh. So, like, half the time I want to string Cat Noir up for his puns, but that doesn't change the fact that he's a hero and that I trust him. I trust you. Ugh. I trust you. That's enough for me. As for friendship, we can work on that. Ladybug let her yo-yo fly across the skyline until it hooked onto the side of a building. She gave it a tug, looked to Chloe, and said, So, yeah, one last thing. I checked on the others that were in the park yesterday, including that girl you were with, Marinette. Chloe stared deadpan at Ladybug for a moment before raising an eyebrow.
Oh.
Yeah, Ladybug said with a slightly nervous smile. She asked if I could tell you that you're invited to her house this weekend for dinner and cake. Maybe some video games? She stressed something about an all-access pass to the bakery. Is there, something special going on? Chloe laughed and wiped the tears from her cheeks as Pollen floated beside her.
It's my birthday. I guess I could bother to make an appearance. If you could tell her. If you see her.
If I see her. Ladybug smiled and saluted her newest permanent partner. Well then, happy birthday, Queen Bee. A quick tug, a leap, and Ladybug soared over the skyline, disappearing around a bend in a matter of moments. Chloe watched her leave and smile. Not her vicious smile, not her I'm better than you smile, but a genuine smile. A friend smile.
Thanks to Pencheng.
The end.
That was nice.
So ends.
I feel bad for Chloe.
So does half the fandom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You think that's what this chapter was channeling?
It seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
I also like how the end bit of, like, that just sounded like a marriage proposal. Like,
Yeah, that's literally how I imagined it.
just
Like,
the way
as
it
I
was worded, like,
I also almost said, and join me in the sacrament of matrimony or whatever
yeah.
they say.
Are you?
I should point out
Yeah.
Ladybug's spiel that the whole speech she does to Chloe. She does that for every temporary Miraculous holder.
Okay.
Like so and so. I'm giving you the Miraculous of the blobfish. You'll use its powers to join
Oh,
greater
goodies.
good.
Okay.
But yes, it does sound like a marriage proposal to everyone.
Yeah.
Did I cut out?
You cut out a little bit, but I got
Okay,
I got
lovely.
the gist of what you were saying.
I thought that was my end.
No, yeah.
What I was saying that in the show, Ladybug does that spiel for everyone, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, douchebag, here's the the Miraculous of the blobfish. You'll use his powers of, I don't know, hokey pokey to help me and Cat Noir fight for greater good." Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, always sounds like either like a marriage proposal or like a graduation speech.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It
That's
always
gotta
sounds like
be
that,
on
but I guess
purpose.
in that for later, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is this like a popular ship in the fandom? Because it seems like it would be.
Not really, because Chloe's an asshole.
Oh, fair enough.
Notorious.
That just makes them
Like
weak
it
shippers.
exists.
I've seen crazier rivals to lovers.
Oh yeah.
Look, Lumity to channel Owl House for a moment. This is not. Like, it's a ship, but it's, like, outgunned by several other ships, including the one with more canon evidence, Ladybug and Cat Noir themselves.
Well, I
Marinette
mean,
with Chloe's half-sister.
canon evidence doesn't stop people.
Yeah.
If it happened, it usually requires the fan to kind of do some heavy lifting for Chloe's characterization, kind of like this story.
Okay, yeah, because that's fair. Because yeah, I genuinely felt bad for Chloe in this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what she's like. She's actually like in the series, so I can imagine it's not so much like this, right?
She is a complex asshole of a human being.
Ooh, complex.
Look,
Ooh.
I'm dumping on her, but no, I do like her. But
Okay.
she is just a frickin' mess.
Yeah.
And yeah, the story again takes place after season 3, and after it happened. Pardon me. Between seasons 3 and 4, so it's basically by default it's a point of divergence from actual canon.
Okay, yeah. That's also fair. Yeah.
Because not too thick far into the weeds of Miraculous's plot, but I guess after season 3 it's kind of all downhill for Chloe.
Oh. Oh.
Damn.
She was making some attempts to be a slightly better human being in seasons 2 and 3.
Okay.
And I mean slight. She was a queen bee, but still pretty damn awful as a civilian.
Right.
And that culminated in the finale of that season, which led to the events that are kind of being referenced in the story. Like, the reason Marinette's able to give her Miraculous back is because she's now the guardian of the Miraculous. Because Chloe's got the old guardian, my memory right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is taking some liberties here, like not absolving her of any of her actions, but they don't really mention the fate of the old guardian in this story.
Right.
I'm sure it's on Ladybug's mind. She's just willing to let bygones be bygones. In fairness, Chloe did not even know the identity of the guardian before this because Ladybug tries to keep everyone in the dark on that.
Yeah.
Because crap like Miracle Queen happens. So yeah, this is obviously the story's an AU by default. By chapter 1, outside of Miss Bustier knowing who Ladybug was, adhered pretty closely to canon otherwise. It's basically from this chapter onwards that the story becomes like a AU.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's Miss Bustier's story, but from this point on, Chloe will be a recurring part of the cast. Her trajectory is quite interesting, which is one of why I wanted to read the story on air.
Yeah, it does seem very interesting. You've read the whole thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Read the whole thing. Stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like, and stuff in between, I guess. First Miraculous story I've ever read, so very good first impression, I'd say.
Okay, this is interesting because I just looked at the AO3 version. Let me fanfiction.net has it as one full story, right?
The yes, one
Yeah.
full story, I guess, and barring its wedding, barring a certain epilogue, I guess.
Okay, because AO3 the author separated all the chapters into their own like separate stories, and made it like a series
Collection.
collection thing. Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah,
I guess like
AO3 be like that.
yeah, I guess that would make sense if the first chapter was supposed to be a one-off. Um, that kind of makes like this being set um organizes it like a collection thing, kind of makes it feel more like each one of these are supposed to be one shots. Although I assume they're still connected. I assume there's still a ongoing like story kind of thing.
Yes, it's basically an ongoing, basically just episodes of a AU series.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I've seen an author do stuff like this. This is a very interesting way of going about this.
The author Renokin wrote. They have written a lot of Miraculous stuff actually. Like again, there's like I guess the main 10 episodes. I say fair quotes of this story,
Mm-hmm.
and then like an epilogue, and then some outtakes, which are like little short stories that are quasi canons of this story,
Yeah.
and then a sequel series, and then some other stuff that they do. So yeah, this will uh, this will give us content for a while.
Yeah. Are they all around the length of this chapter?
It varies, but I'd say this is probably closer to the baseline average length than what chapter one was.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll have this for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've read this. This is the chapter that I have read and reread the most because I liked it. It gave me the Chloe Bourgeois themed sugar that I apparently wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as just a character study and as like not a take on the average Miraculous episode. Yeah, a clown who shoots out fireballs. Yeah, that'd be in the show.
I mean, it's definitely it's given me interest in seeing what this series is about. Because I've
I described it
yeah.
as go on.
Hmm.
Go on. I cut you off.
Well, no, I wasn't really gonna say much else. Just you know, it just kind of got me interested in seeing what it's all about.
I described it as French Japanese Power Rangers before, and I largely stand by that description. It's you got transforming teenagers with attitude dealing with a sort of really weird monsters.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What does Rado think?
I mean, about the same. It's a neat little character study to read through. Well, while I was reading, I did also have thoughts of, what is this show like? Like,
Yeah,
what is it like watching this show?
yeah,
Miraculous is a show that oscillates between Saturday morning antics and just really heavy teenage love triangles
yeah.
or
No,
love squares.
the only thing I knew about it is like the whole like romance angle. That's like apparently pretty like
It's like the back show, let's be blunt.
yeah. I've heard opinions about it.
Excuse me. This show is an animated superhero soap opera. You're either or you're not.
Yeah,
Oh God, not a soap opera.
yeah. Yeah, we should wrap this up because it's really late for me.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed. I tried to do my best, Chloe Bourgeois. Like again, her I can get her cadence. I can get her mannerisms down. Sort of. Her voice is actually kind of hard to emulate, though.
Mm.
Like high pitched and also kind of raspy.
It's a good thing I've never heard these characters before, so I wouldn't I wouldn't have known if you did a good or bad job either way.
So yeah, once again, folks, I will be putting out a casting call for Ms. Joie. If you want to get money, then
Yeah.
reach out to me.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the lung capacity to voice her for the rest of the story. Said Scrappy and I too, as he winds up voicing her for the rest of the story.
Mm.
Freaking screamed if I have to do all of her emotional scenes.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, spoiler, she cries a lot in this story.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
Like, just, I'm not sure. Again, I've only read like maybe 4 Miraculous fics, but in general, I feel like the show, which is already pretty heavy on emotions, just seems to inspire the most, just the most feelsy fics of any cartoon fandom.
This definitely does feel very feelsy from the first two chapters.
Like the show isn't shallow. It seems like a good portion of the stories, at least the ones that kind of like, take off, seem to just always try to be like deep character studies
Yeah.
or very salty. So this almost feels like a salt fix where Lila turns the classic Marinette, but Chloe's like maybe the one person who doesn't betray her. Like it almost feels like a send up of that, and then we'll see about this, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good chapter. I don't know, I just like any story that can pull off a redemption arc for Chloe gets my praise.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's about all I have to say. It's just a fun little AU Mars episode.
Yeah. Interested to see where this future chapters go.
And I guess that means, speaking of future, I guess that we could briefly discuss what we do next episode. Probably this, or the Team Fortress thing, or maybe the Great Disney Games will be done.
oh. Making
I
promises.
The second casting call just closed like a day ago.
The Great Disney.
I need to.
At this point, the Great Disney Games is like the boogeyman.
There's money on have to do it, so I guess silver linings.
Yeah.
Not for me, but for other people.
Yeah.
I've shortlisted the actors for the second casting call. I need to go through all shortlisted actors and listen to, and goofy submissions again.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Is that everything?
So I guess stay tuned.
Yeah.
Once that's done, I'll hopefully be able to get all the information that we can send. I can send stuff to Harry to actually put out a casting announcement on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll see.
So that's all I have for now. If we do not return in time for Halloween, I hope
He hopes.
He hopes for something.
Yeah, he hopes.
He hopes you all have a terrible Halloween. You get no candy, and you get broccoli. I don't know.
Imagine imagine trick or treating. You're like 10 years old or something, and you get fucking broccoli.
I mean, it takes 8 carrots if they're in a bag.
Yeah, yeah. Carrot. I do like carrots, so you know.
Yeah, I'm fine with carrots.
I don't know if I'd want that for trick or treat though.
I'd be surprised, but I'd still take them. Again, properly sealed.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's about all I got to say.
All right. I guess that's how. I guess we'll just end it there.
Good
Okay.
job, dude, on reading Raideran. Good job.
Oh, yeah.